Oh, there it goes. We're good to go now.
Okay, we're good?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't push this.
Go.
We're kind of in a weird
It's fine. Your mom's calling you.
I know.
You said, oh, hello.
Hello.
It's so late.
It is late. It's at like 9:30.
Yeah, I thought it was later than that, so I'm wrong.
No, we're good. We're at 9:30. We're only 2 hours later than we were supposed to. Weird.
That's super good.
Oh, I don't like this. We need to scoot up. Scoot it and boot it. Okay.
Scoot and boot it.
Hi, guys. Welcome to 30-ish Podcast recording.
Yes.
Live now.
Right now.
Right meow.
Right now.
What's up? What's up, Shay?
Not much, man. It is past my bedtime, and I guess because I had my glass of milk right before we started this, so
Your glass of milk that's a strawberry margarita?
I mean, that's very true. My tummy hurts.
Oh, no.
No, it doesn't.
I'm
fine.
like chugging this.
Well, it's pretty delicious.
Our drink today. Look at that.
It's pretty fucking delicious.
You hear that?
Let's be real.
You hear the jingle of the ice cubes?
Yeah, you're slamming that down.
I know, and you already refilled it.
Well, that's because you need to chug a
literally
lug.
tastes like a Capri Sun.
Well, maybe, yeah.
I was offered a Capri Sun yesterday, guys.
By whom?
Fun
Was it a
fact.
stranger?
It was. He was on the road. He was just on the road handing out Capri Suns. No, I was meeting with a client at at their office. It's called Forever Young, if anyone's heard of it.
Forever Young. All right.
They do a bunch of stuff. But they had a drink cooler, and they're like, do you want anything? They had like so many different kinds of drinks.
Well, that's
and they're
cute.
like, we even have Capri Suns. And I was like, I'm going to take a water. But thank you. Anyways.
Wow, you take a freak. Oh, sorry. She likes to really get in
She
your mail.
loves to give me
She's
a
a
little
lover,
French
not a fighter.
kiss for her little French bulldog.
She's a little Frenchie to Frenchie.
She loves to give us a little French.
Yes.
Anyways, what's going on? What's new? You went to Chelsea Handler.
I went to Chelsea Handler. And
Did
that
you
was
know that?
A blast in a glass. It was so much fun.
You had a glass.
I had a blasty glass. It was a good time. It would rain the entire time, but that was fine. We almost started Woodstock 99, which is awesome.
Oh, that's
because
exciting.
people didn't like the show Animal Control because they were doing like a showing of it, which was very weird.
That's so
I'm not
weird.
Gonna lie.
Sorry, Joel McHale.
Yeah, it wasn't his best.
That's his
It wasn't
name.
his best time. Oh, was that
He
his
was
name?
the opener at the Chelsea Handler show. And
Yeah.
instead of being an opener, like doing a bit or an act.
he was supposed to do like a PR thing for his show.
Yeah, but that's like not. But like, who does
Wow,
that?
Penelope.
It's a show. That's annoying.
Well, he must
Especially if you're not aware of it. Like, it'd be one thing if you like did one like his own stand-up thing. That's what you would
Sure.
expect, but not like you're gonna watch a show at Red Rocks.
probably 'cause he's
That's
owned-
my new show.
He might be owned by Fox. I don't know his
He
life.
is.
Yeah.
They are. That's fine. Anyways, that's just
Anyway,
weird.
it was a good time. That's all that's been happening with
People
me.
were throwing shit at the stage
It
for
was
him
great.
for the showing,
Yes, it was
but Chelsea was
very memorable. And yeah, Chelsea was amazing. Actually, always is. And I have Penelope hair in my mouth. Sorry.
Well, maybe she can French kiss it out for you.
Yeah, she'll do that later.
You want to just lick that out for her?
100%.
Yikes.
Other than that, like just going through the motions. What about you?
Going through it, just figuring it out one day at a time, one step ahead of the other. What's that song from Anastasia?
You really are the epitome of that reel that you posted about like how
I know.
you just start singing lyrics when you're like in deep in thought or whatever.
I literally lose my train of thought because
Yes.
because the
100%.
song clouds the fucking.
Yes.
That's what it looks like.
I just imagine you in your car and you're like thinking about like whatever, and then you're just like step by step, and then it's
literally.
Yeah.
I just sang the step by step song to Shay just 4 minutes ago. Do you guys remember that song?
Do you remember that happening 4 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope you do. Wait, did you? It wasn't recorded.
I'm pretty sure it was. Rewind the tape.
Oh, it wasn't recorded. It was before we pushed record.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm ignorant. Anyway,
Anywho, what are we doing today? What are we? Oh my God, your dog almost fell off my lap. She almost landed head first.
It's a learning lesson for her. I'm that kind of mom. I rolled crime.
Oh, you did?
I did.
I thought you rolled history, but you did.
No, I rolled crime. I
did.
mean, if I roll history,
made that up.
I'm doing
It's
crime.
history.
So
Perfect.
yeah. So
That's exciting. It's a good
very
one.
exciting. It's a work in progress.
It's a good one?
Say this, yeah.
It's a work in progress.
In the sense, like the story is a work in progress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. And you rolled food, did you not?
I did roll food,
Okay.
and I am gonna be talking about some delicious fucking food. I'm gonna be talking about one of my favorite cookbooks, and basically the start of their restaurant, and then some of the cookbook deliciousness. So get ready to feel fucking hungry because I
probably will.
I
I had Taco Bell for dinner, so I'm pretty sure that I will be hungry in 30 minutes.
I almost had Taco Bell for dinner, but then Chris was like, I was like, Chris, I'm about to have Taco Bell for dinner. And then he's like, I'll make you some food. So that's the trick, ladies.
Get yourself a
Just
guy
kidding.
that's going to make you like a homemade quesadilla.
That's happened one time. We'll see. We'll see if it happens the next. But then he made me a cheeseburger on
Aw.
an English muffin because that's what we have.
That's, you know what?
It
That's
was
ingenuity.
delicious.
So,
Yes.
actually,
Anyways,
sounds kind of good, actually.
it was fucking delicious. Thank you, Christopher. And with fresh arugula from Native Hill Farm down the street from our house.
Oh, nice plug-in.
Shout out Native Hill Farm. They're taking the world by
Storm.
storm.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess we should just fucking get into this.
I think we should get into it.
Yeah, let's fucking keep it fucking a normal amount of intro time.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We're drinking strawberry margaritas. You rolled crime. I rolled food.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
And here we go.
You're going to have to... I got the baby.
I'm... Yeah.
Hi, everyone that joined. And
Oh.
bye, everyone that joined. I just
Here we
saw
go.
that. Bye-bye. Where is it? Where'd it go?
Right there. In now.
Okay.
Here we
Are we ready to talk about some fucking food?
Oh, I'm ready. Freddy.
All right, guys, here we go.
I'm so ready.
As I told you
starting.
earlier, about 4 seconds ago, before the little transition sound of our choosings, I'm talking about food, and I'm talking about one of my favorite cookbooks of all time.
Okay.
Of my collection.
Okay.
I thought I maybe did this already, though. I didn't do this one, right?
I hope not.
Do you remember this book that I brought? I never brought it. Did I? Did I do it?
I
feel like I might have done it.
You might have, but I don't remember.
But I looked at my food. I think I did.
No, I think you did the gal. You've only done this once. You have not done this before. Like, you haven't done this twice.
This the lady?
You did
Suzanne Goyne?
Yes, you've done hers, but you have not done Flour and Water, no.
Okay, well, here we go. Spoiler alert. We're talking about the
And I think
cookbook.
you might have done, like, the Flavor Bible.
I did. And I maybe mentioned something
I think
from
you
this
mentioned
book.
that one, but you never, like, did a whole...
Okay, I never did a spiel.
Like a spiel about it.
Well, tonight we're going deep
into flour.
We're kneading our hands deep into the dough.
Oh.
That is the story of the restaurant and cookbook Flour and Water.
Okay, I'm into this.
So, I know you're like, that sounds lame. No, Flour and Water makes very good things.
Like so many things.
You know, like pasta. And that's mainly what this is about. Okay?
Okay.
So, first of all, the cookbook is literally hands down one of my favorites in my collection. And I have a collection of cookbooks, and I never counted them until today.
Oh, and how many do you have?
I have over 85 cookbooks. They're with Christopher.
Do you use all of them?
I have looked in all of them.
Okay. All right, then that counts.
I like to I don't know. I collect
spruce it up.
cookbooks.
Okay, that's fair.
But I also I like look in all of them randomly all the time.
Okay.
Anyways, so first of all, Flour and Water is a restaurant. It was opened in San Francisco in the outskirts of the Mission District in 2009, which then was kind of not as popular as it is now and not as like developed and
like the district isn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was opened by a man named David Steele and David White, and with the help of a chef named Tom McNaughton, and he is still the chef there.
Oh. It's impressive.
So the heart of the food program there focuses on fresh handmade pastas, and along with Neapolitan style pizzas and seasonal antipasti. They also have 2 other restaurants that are actually in the same district. I'll talk a little bit about those later. But Flower and Water is known for showcasing a menu that's influenced by regions across Italy, but with distinctly Northern California influence and ingredients, and their menu changes weekly and sometimes daily.
Okay, that's impressive.
So the concept started with a man named David Steele. He wrote the original business plan for the restaurant on the back of an envelope 10 years before it was open.
Okay.
And he was like, I'm always going to fucking open this restaurant. So keep that in my back pocket.
All right. Noted.
His inspiration was Italy and how seasonal ingredients could be showcased effortlessly with handmade pasta and pizza. And it's the fucking best.
I mean.
And why would you not want that every day, everywhere?
I mean, I wish I could. Like, no guilt.
Have you ever been to Italy?
Yes. And I would go back. I would go back over that.
You better.
I would go back over France any day.
Oh, wow.
I was not a fan.
That is a statement.
But, I mean, I think for me, like, I prefer Italian cuisine over French cuisine. So, like, it's not it's a no-brainer for me.
It's just what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. That's just the way it is.
Yes, that is just the way it is. So, David grew up in New Jersey, and he started working in kitchens when he was a teenager.
Okay.
He switched teams, though. He was in the back of house, but he switched teams, went to the front of house because they were like, this is really hard work.
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid enough. I'm not getting paid a lot at all. And I'm working way longer than the servers. So I'm going to be a server. Yes, exactly. So he was smart at 18 and did that. He worked in restaurants for like 8 years doing all sorts of things. And then he was going to go to culinary school, but his dad was like, don't fucking do that. So he went to Wall Street, and then the rest is history.
Very opposite.
There. But yeah, so he was on Wall Street, and he was like, I will definitely return to restaurants one day somehow.
Okay.
Some way, and he's always wanted to open a restaurant too. So David White, the other man, one of the other trio that opened the restaurant, grew up in Ireland with 6 siblings, and dining was like, they had dinner with their family every night. Right. They were like, always doing the things. Mm-hmm. And then David ended up moving to San Francisco one day. His brother was like, I'm signing up for visas. You want me to sign? And then he was like, you might as well sign me up too.
BOGO.
And then his brother ended up not winning a visa, and he did.
Oh,
so
shit.
I was like, bye, brother.
Yeah.
Moved to San Francisco. And that's where he worked in some different restaurants as a server.
Okay.
Just because he was like, I'm fresh off the boat.
Right. What am I going to do?
I need some jobs.
Hustling.
And so he ended up working in a restaurant called Quince, and that's where he met Thomas McNaughton.
Okay.
And Thomas McNaughton, who's the chef there now, was the sous chef at the time, and he was at the ripe age of 23, and he was David was super impressed by him, and just how young he was, and his like work ethic, and just like his talent. And they both they weren't like best friends, but like they would sometimes drink after work together, and they like definitely respected each other. And one time they were both in Europe. It was while David White was touring Europe, looking for inspiration for his first restaurant, which was called Nua. And Tom was also there doing his own like touring around, and they like met up and drank and ate their way through Andalusia. Andalusia. I think that's how you say it.
You could say Andalusia, and I've been like,
I don't think
exactly
so.
What you're talking about.
But and they just had a really great bonding moment there, and they just always had a connection.
Fair enough.
So then David went his own way back to San Francisco. He opened a restaurant, Nua, N-U-A. I don't know if that's how you say it, in North Beach of San Francisco. And it fucking killed him. He was like, I did everything myself. I burned myself to the ground, basically. And also, they were dead when they first opened. Then, like, for 3 months later, they got like a really good review, and they were fucking insanely busy for like couple months, 6 months, and then they were like dead for like a year. And then he was like, I have to fucking close my restaurant.
Shit.
Basically,
that
is
sucks.
what I got from the the story.
The gist.
But he still wanted to open this restaurant that he was inspired by in Italy with the rustic Italian. Right. And he always oh no, this is the other guy. I'm fucking confusing everyone.
It's fine.
Hold on a minute. Yeah, okay. Oh, that was correct.
Okay, noted.
We're good. It's just confusing because both their names are David.
That's fair.
David Steele and David fucking White. Okay, so David White is the new guy, the guy that knew Thomas McNaughton, the chef. Mm-hmm. David Steele, so this is where David White and David Steele meet because David White. Oh my gosh. So David White was selling his restaurant, and David Steele was the one who always had the idea of this rustic Italian restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That he wanted to open.
Okay.
And he found out that David White was closing down his restaurant, and he was like, I need a business partner that like knows what they're doing. So he reached, and they had a mutual friend. So David reached out to David. Mm-hmm. David. And as crazy as it sounds, David White, who was selling the restaurant, who was like completely burnt out from his restaurant, was like, you know what, I'm going to jump on board and do this with you.
Okay.
So their idea was to keep it simple, fresh, and a restaurant for regular people with pizza, pasta, and humble salads and just good fucking food that was affordable.
Right.
Because this was in 2008 when a bunch of shit was happening.
Okay.
You know, the economy crashed and, you know, people were like not spending money.
Right. They had to reinvent themselves.
Yeah, they did. They were like, we need a place in the like it was a neighborhood spot.
Right. That makes sense.
And they decided upon the Mission District, and at first it was like there's not really anything here.
Okay.
And so people were like, why are you doing this? But they saw the vision, and they went through with it. We're going for it. So like, all right, now all we need is a incredible chef. Enter Thomas McNaughton.
It's always a Tom.
Okay. So Thomas was in Europe doing his thing, bopping around to some of the most incredible restaurants as a stage, spending all his money, but just working for free and learning a bunch of shit and eating delicious food. He started in Paris, but then he eventually made his way to Italy, where he fell in love, especially with pasta, during an extended stay in Bologna.
Oh, like bologna.
Bologna, baby. So now pasta in Italy is literally like a culture in itself, obviously.
Right.
And in Bologna, it holds a particularly high place in the hierarchy of things.
Okay.
And there's fresh pasta like everywhere in Bologna. Like
I believe that.
Fresh pasta stands are like Starbucks or something.
That would be incredible. It'd be my kind of Starbucks stand.
Yeah, literally. Please.
Don't burn your pasta.
That is the world I want to live in.
Right.
Yeah. Don't burn your pasta. So Thomas he ended up staying at a friend's house, and Marcello, his friend, offered him a recommendation on where to work, and it ended up changing the course of his life forever.
Oh.
So this recommendation was to learn to cook at this place called Bruno y Franco La Salumeria.
Okay.
So this is the Salumeria. Okay, picture this, guys.
Ready.
Shelves stocked with jars of giant green olives, giant wheels of pungent cheese, a myriad of cured pork products, all procured from the best in the region. Delicious. Amazing. And across the street from the Salumeria was an unassuming second-story room that overlooked the Salumeria. And the street-level entrance was unmarked completely, except for a little buzzer that cryptically read Laboratorio.
Okay.
So you walk up you go over there, you walk up a narrow flight of stairs, and you get to the Salumeria's Laboratorio, which is their pasta lab.
Oh,
it's not
very
a
fancy.
lab though. It's not like there's not lab coats, there's not fucking beakers everywhere.
Well, that's what we're missing out.
They call it the Laboratorio. It's where the pasta is fucking made, okay?
Okay.
And so inside this lab were about a dozen Italian ladies dressed in pink chef coats, all of them. They're ranging from all ages, from like women that grew up in the 50s to like 30-ish, you know?
Okay. All right.
So they make a handful of pasta types, with tortellini being the most popular since, tortellini was invented in Bologna. Fun fact.
Okay.
So they also had tagliatelle, I think that's how you say it.
Okay.
Passatelle, paglia e fieno, which means straw and hay. Roman style gnocchi, which I didn't know is baked and made with semolina.
That sounds amazing.
And then sometimes, if you were lucky, they also had cannelloni.
Oh shit!
Everything made from scratch. Everything literally made. So they literally would put out the entire day's production out. They would sell out of all of it, and then they make it the next day.
Yeah.
They get up and dawn and do the same thing.
Can't even imagine.
I know. And yeah. So the ladies in the lab, spanning from several different generations, and they were just, Tom described them as he just fell in love with all of them, basically. But he said whatever their origins, they all tell body jokes, gossip about the town, smoke in the bathroom on their breaks, and the workday starts at dawn so they can pick up their kids from school. And despite their different backgrounds, they all work as one perfectly functioning unit. And mechanical pasta machines are very looked down upon in this pasta laboratory.
I believe that. Yeah.
So, where did I go? So Tom ended up finding himself in the lab by accident, but ended up staying for months learning from these ladies, like a dream. And they became family to him. And they're like his little nonas.
Oh, extra nonas.
And they made him realize that he was yearning for a change from the fine dining, military, militant, back of house bullshit.
Right.
To something more soulful and personal. And he found it making pasta. So Tom's visa was running out by this time. He was going to have to get back to the States, so he started looking for Craigslist positions, as you do.
As one
He was in his little internet cafe, and he came across a very vague listing opening for a rustic Italian restaurant in San Francisco.
Okay.
He was like, that sounds exactly,
on my alley.
Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
So a couple hours after sending the email, he got a response from his old buddy David White, which he didn't know was putting the ad out.
Right.
And so he replied to the ad saying literally this: I'm in Bologna working in a pasta lab. I'd like to move back to the Bay Area and start a goat farm. A couple hours later, after sending that email, he got a response from his old buddy David White saying, what in the hell are you talking about? And he was like, oh my God, David? Like, you're the one? What is this about?
Is
so
amazing.
they ended up catching up, talked about the opportunity. He spent the next couple weeks talking to both Davids over, a couple beers in the phone booth.
Right.
About the job and about life and about restaurants and about what they saw for, their futures and the visions of what they wanted to be in. And so pretty much immediately they offered him a job over the phone. They didn't even taste his food, and he flew back to San Francisco, and
the rest is
they started working. So less than 4 months after he got back from Italy, on May 15th, 2009, Flour and Water opened.
Oh, wow.
They were like, this is hopefully going to be, a small little opening. Like, it's not going to be very, they didn't really advertise it. They just slowly opened because they still had the hoods weren't working properly, and they were still doing some construction in little parts of the restaurant, and how that happens.
Yeah.
They also they were opening on opening day. They found themselves with a huge line out the door 15 minutes before they even opened.
Shit.
And it was complete chaos. The metal workers were working on the hoods while they were cooking, and so metal shards were getting in their mise en place.
Tight.
And all the 9 employees who didn't know each other were being thrown into all of the shit show. And it just sounds like a restaurant opening to me, which is insane. And he had never done it, and so it was a lot.
Yeah.
He gave a pep talk to his workers, though, and this was his pep talk. Restaurant work by nature is chaotic. This was cooking, a career of crazy conditions and unreasonable pressure. And then he made everyone scream individually, releasing the steam, if you will. So everyone literally screamed in a circle, and then they got back to work. They did 136 covers the first night in their 45-seat restaurant.
Jesus.
And they've literally never done less since the day they opened, pretty much.
Wow.
The first couple months, Tom found himself waking up in the dining room, being poked by one of the dishwashers at 4 a.m., being like, you fell asleep in the dining room.
Yeah, you can go
You're
home.
still here. And they also didn't have a place, they didn't have room to store or butcher whole animals, but they did anyway. They would break down pigs at a communal table at the end of service, like in the middle of the restaurant.
Jesus.
Sometimes customers would still be there and they'd be like, all right, grab a beer and hang out for the show, basically. And they were always finding ways to adjust, as you fucking do, because that's what you do.
You have to.
You literally have to. You have to figure it out and you have to feed the people and you gotta fucking make it work.
Which honestly, like, they probably give it 5 years and they could have been like, all right, and you're going to pay extra for that fucking pig breakdown.
Yeah.
Like, as a show, like, because, you know, not a lot of people get to see this.
Yeah. That's a fucking special show. So on the opening day, there were 5 pastas on the menu and it was evenly balanced between pizzas, salads, and salumi. Now there are nearly 4 times that amount. And pasta definitely took center stage after they opened.
Right.
The second week, they were doing 225 covers a night in a 45-seat restaurant.
Jesus.
They were open until midnight, but pasta would start to run out by 9:30. And Tom wanted the pasta program to expand and to be able to explore more the complexities of different pastas, but they literally had no room. They couldn't think of any other weird things they could rig up to do it. So until they realized that they could use the shed in the back of the restaurant. They had other plans for it originally, but he was like, if you want this, we need a pasta lab. Like I had in Italy, motherfuckers. So with a huge butcher block in the middle of the naturally lit space, this shed, if you will, was turned into the pasta lab.
Nice.
And then when they weren't using it as the prep kitchen, they were also able to use it as a chef's table, like special dining space. So
that's pretty cool.
So that helped them like kind of recoup for like having to make that into a pasta lab.
Right.
So, but the room changed the game for the team. And instead of 3-foot sheets of pasta, they could make 24-foot long sheets of pasta.
Jesus.
And have multiple cooks around the table forming them instead of one, which literally, even having one other person forming pasta with you when you have to make a fuck ton of pasta is, I mean, clearly you cut your fucking time in half. It's a lot of work. And when you have more people to be able to do it, you can actually do a lot more shit.
Teamwork.
Imagine that. So this was their first major step in establishing the culture of pasta at their restaurant. And from then on, they became known as what it is today.
The pasta place.
Like one of the best pasta restaurants in the country, probably. Okay. So let's talk about the book a little bit. Again, it's my fucking favorite book. Not to mention the photography in this book is literally... Phenomenal. Oh my God, it's so amazing. It's mouth-watering. It's incredible. It is pasta porn. Basically.
I'm into that.
And you get to see pictures of the pink ladies, I like to call them. The ladies that make the pasta in the lab.
Nice. The Oompa Loompas, if you will.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So this book was published in 2014, written by the chef himself, Thomas McNaughton.
That's pretty cool.
There are 2 parts after the preface and introduction to the book. There's part 1, and that's all about the dough.
Okay.
It's an in-depth instruction and explanation on the art of making pasta. It literally breaks down each ingredient: flour, eggs, water.
Yeah.
And it explains the science and the art behind each one.
Fair enough.
And the reasoning behind why you use certain flour, like they only use 00 flour, why you're using, and why you're forming it and what each thing does. So then also it talks about the 2 types of dough. There's a standard egg dough that they use and a ravioli dough. They call it the rav dough. And you use the rav dough for all stuffed pastas. And the difference between the rav dough and the standard dough only has egg yolks.
Right.
And this rav dough has whole eggs. And so the reasoning for that is because the egg white helps it may be more gives it more elasticity, and it also like makes it more durable because when you're shaping and twisting and pulling and wrapping stuffing pastas, it goes through a lot of shit, so it needs to be fucking durable, and the extra protein in the egg white helps with that in the dough. Okay.
Science, yo.
Science. And then the standard egg dough, there's literally 18 to 20 yolks in this dough for like a 22-ounce ball of dough. So it's a lot of, it is a yellow, orange fucking dough. Yeah. And it's delicious. But it's mainly for flavor. And they're like, their reasoning behind so many yolks is they're trying to get as much fat into the dough without it being, because if you have too much fat in the dough, it's like too pliable and it like doesn't hold up as well.
Right.
But they want a lot of fat in the dough because it's flavor and it's like the best texture.
Right.
It's a gorgeous dough.
It's so pretty.
It is so pretty.
It's so
pretty. So it goes through all the steps: mixing, kneading, resting, rolling out, like in depth. Like super informative about why you're doing each step, why it's important to do each step the way you do.
Right.
It's really awesome. Also, of course, some tips and tricks along the way. There's also an extruded pasta part, which extruded pasta is made with just water and semolina, and that makes it super hardy, and it also gives it a rougher texture, which is better for sauce to stick to when you make it. So that's why nice. Like you extrude spaghetti and rigatoni, your macaroni, your fucking cavatelli.
Yeah.
All those pastas are extruded and usually just water and semolina.
Yeah.
Flour and water.
All the things science.
So they also have a section in this first part about how to cook pasta, which I know sounds like you boil water and you put it in, but it literally goes behind like the reasoning, like definitely have a rapid boil, salt the water, like, and the reasoning behind all that. And then it even talks about, serving sizes for people with different pastas, how to store the fresh pasta, reasons for different sauce pairings, like you want thinner, lighter sauces for stuffed pastas. Right. And so yeah, it's really just
super
amazing.
Deep divey. Okay.
And then part 2 is the recipes, and literally it is pasta porn.
Okay.
And the pictures, again, amazing.
Pasta porn.
It's separated into seasons, which I love when a cookbook separates into seasons.
You do. You love. You're
my
season
seasonal
bitch.
things. I love those seasons. And you got your regular pastas and your stuffed pastas. So some of the regular ones in the book, I wanted to give you a little. We're doing good?
Yeah, we're fine. Oh, you're good, girl.
Great. Okay. So, let's talk about some of the regular non-stuffed pastas in this book, okay? Are you guys ready to fucking drool? Totally. I need to drink my marg for a sec. That is so good. God, Crystal's just so good at drinks. All right, so they have an orchetti. Orchetti, you guys know what that is? It's the little one. It's like a little thumbprint.
Oh, okay.
And you like kind of, it has a little rough texture on the end, but it's kind of like a little, orchetti. So their orchetti in the book has rabbit sausage and padron peppers.
Nice.
They have a tomato farfalle. Everyone knows farfalle, little bow ties. Yes. And that's with chicken polpettine, which are like little Italian chicken meatballs, roasted red peppers and basil.
Nice.
They have a tagliatelle with mussels, lardo, and corn. Oh my God! If you don't know what lardo is, it's fat.
Right.
It's usually pork fat, and it's delicious.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Salty and delicious.
It's lard, but with an O. Lardo.
Yeah. Salty pork fat. They also have some crazy pastas that you probably have never heard of, like strozzapreti. Well, how do you even say this? Strozzapreti.
You can make it up.
Strozzapreti. And this one they make with wild boar. And I wanted to tell you a little story about strozzapreti and how it got its weird little name.
Okay.
So the name means priest strangler.
Ooh.
Little crime in there.
Yes.
The town's gluttonous priest was taking advantage of the village people. He would regularly invite himself in for dinner in whatever house or even houses that had the best meal that night. What a fucking pig.
What a fucking
I'm just going to
mooch.
come eat some food at your house.
I love it. He's just like, you know who I am?
I'm the fucking... What was he? Priest?
Yeah, I was like,
I'm a priest.
What
wasn't even like the governor.
Thing? But back then...
Yeah, I know.
They were held to high regard.
It's true. They were like running the towns.
They really were.
So, could you just fucking imagine that?
No.
Like, fucking...
You need to have an important conversation.
Like, Pastor Jim.
And he's like, no, you're going to give me half your lardo. You're like, all right, well, fuck me then.
I guess I won't be eating that
Yeah,
tonight.
that's fine.
Okay, so, the villagers got fed up with this.
Good for them.
So
Rise
during
up.
one of the dinners, the host snuck up behind the priest and strangled him with a twisted dish towel. And that's where the Strozzapreti got its name, because it means
strangled priest.
It means strangled priest. And it looks like a twisted dish towel, the little pasta.
Oh, that's quite
So
quaint.
Mr. Thomas gently braises his wild boar in red wine, chicken stock, mirepoix, and herbs, including juniper and thyme. Ooh. And he makes that with his Strozzapreti.
Okay,
and it sounds delicious. Okay, let's talk about some of the stuffed pastas. We got some mezzalune, which is like a crescent moon empanada like pasta.
Sounds tight.
There in the book, theirs has an eggplant filling with treccione scarmosa cheese, which I have never had.
No, but it sounds delicious.
With cherry tomatoes. They have a pasta called a triangoli.
Oh my god.
It's basically a square you put in a triangle. Shay is suffering.
I am.
We're almost done.
This sounds
I'm almost there.
Delicious. I'm so hungry.
I know. So the triangoli is a square, and then it's folded into a triangle, and then it's cut like a farfalle, so it has those little crimpy like little edges.
Crimpies. Okay.
Delicious. The one in the book is, oh my god, this one sounds so good. It's filled with burrata, parmesan, fresh mint, lemon, and finished with squash blossoms, preserved lemon, yellow and green squash, mint, parsley, pistachio, butter, and of course a nice fresh shaving of parmesan.
Killing me, Smalls.
I know, guys. This is
not okay.
I need to go get fucking Taco Bell after this.
Dude, the Taco Bell is brewing in my stomach, and it's not.
Just kidding. I don't.
You do, but you don't. But this, oh fuck.
I know. I just want pasta. Amazing.
Damn.
Okay, next up we got their tortellini in the book.
It's probably going to be delicious.
Of course, the signature dish of Bologna, and they keep it super classic.
Okay.
They serve it in brodo, which means in broth.
Okay.
They usually do it in a chicken stock, and that's
I've
like
seen it
the
served
classic
like that.
way you
Didn't
eat
know that.
tortellini in Bologna, at least.
Okay.
And
so
the filling,
only way you should, or you should die.
Yes, except if it's hot. I don't want to eat it in hot broth.
Really?
I mean, no.
But to each your own. It's whatever.
It's fine. I would eat it. I would eat it.
Like, I would eat it. So.
I would eat it. It's fine.
Yeah.
So the filling is ground pork, mortadella, prosciutto, and parmesan. Oh my god, classic! And
Sounds
again,
amazing.
Signature dish of Bologna. They also have a tortelloni, which is just a bigger version of a tortellini.
Oh,
it's a bigger guy.
So like big gulps, huh?
Mm-hmm.
See you later.
Yep. They have a stuffed pasta called a scarpinoc. I made this at Cafe Vino one time.
Did you?
Yeah, but
proud of you.
I know. Thanks.
I know. Thanks. No big deal.
This one I haven't made it since then. I've only made it once, but it's cool. It's basically a square.
Okay.
And then you roll it into threes like a little like burrito, I guess. And then you just like roll it up like a little burrito.
Okay.
And then you press down the edges, so the filling's in the middle. You press down the edges.
Okay.
And then you squeeze the top layer of the edges, so it's like a little like it's almost like a line like going straight down the little thing, but it's just the edges. And then so then the filling part is like puffed up, and then you just put your thumb right in the middle of the filling part.
Oh, okay.
And you make a little dimple.
Oh, cute.
And it's a cute little weird little thing. But in this book, they stuff it with taleggio, and then they just serve it with like brown butter and like really good balsamico. And so like the balsamic, it's like stuck in the little dimple of the pot. Oh,
right in that dimple.
Right in that dimple. We also have a caramel, which are adorable, and they look like little candies, literally. It's a stuffed pasta.
Cute.
They have theirs with asparagus and brown butter, chili, and mild lemon.
Okay.
And basically, this shit is incredible. It is my favorite fucking book. Did I tell you that already? Go to your local bookstore and check it out, guys. Know what my favorite thing to do? Do you know what one of my favorite fucking things to do? Is go to Barnes and Noble.
Yep.
And treat it like a library.
Okay.
I'm not gonna check out a book though. I'm just gonna.
You should just take them like this is the library,
this
right?
Is the
just
library.
Like walk away.
I didn't mean it in that way. I don't steal books.
The 97-year-old will be like, it's fine. Yeah.
It's fine.
Thanks for coming into our establishment.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't steal them. I treat it like a library in the sense that I go there and then I just look at a bunch of books.
I do the same shit.
And then I don't buy them.
Yeah.
So just go do that and go look for flour and water and just go look in this book and then you're going to be like, I like to make pasta. Maybe want to buy that.
Just saying.
It tells you all the things very in depth, guys. And it's just beautiful. So it's a great book to add to your collection. And go follow on Instagram. Go on their website and look at their menus. Mm-hmm. Support them and love them. They're in San Francisco. If you ever go to San Fran, hit them up. And eat pasta, make pasta, and
soup pasta.
That's about it. That's all I got. That's what I got today.
I liked it
for food.
I'm starving now, but whatever. It's fine.
I know.
You don't even care about my feelings, but it doesn't even matter.
Don't worry. I was just drooling the whole time.
I was like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, it's delicious. Yeah, well, I'll have to post some of the pics.
You should.
I was like, look at this shit.
I mean, it is.
I'll show you my favorite picture. Just some fucking.
Oh God.
Spaghetti. Let me show you my fave.
Your fave picture? Out of all the pictures?
It's like, oh yeah.
He's having an orgasm.
All right. Like, look at all those pastas.
Oh my God, that actually is really pretty.
I know. That one? That's the mezzalune.
That's the mezzalune?
The mezzalune.
It's pretty.
When the moon hits your eye like mezzalune pie.
That looks good, and that looks good. Whatever those are.
Little rotini.
I mean, it's a really pretty picture. Whoever did the photography is pretty on point.
Yeah. These are the little ladies. Yeah, it's just fucking... We don't have... You can do your thing. I'm just going to look at this.
All right, well, we'll move on, and we'll move on to the crime.
Move along, Yvonne.
It'll be good.
All right, let's get into it. I'm ready.
Here we go. All
Let's get dangerous.
This is a request, actually.
Oh, from who?
From Rosie and Jesse.
Ooh, I love a good request.
They wanted me to do a little bit of a dive on the at least the little known information of the Rainey Street serial killer.
Ooh,
potentially, allegedly. There's been no proof, but allegedly, because I don't want to get like fucking whatever from our 3 listeners. But anyway, so again, I heard about this like roughly 2 months ago, and like I remember Jesse talking about it, and I think I remember like seeing it on like your newsfeed, like on Facebook, because I'm 105 and I'm still on Facebook.
That's fine.
And it was all about like, oh yeah, is there like a fucking serial killer and it's, killing only males, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't do a whole lot of research then, so I did a little bit now. So this is the story so far.
Okay.
Again,
yeah,
no like crazy developments have happened as of yet, but this is the story this far.
Yeah, so be warned if you're by Rainey Street, Austin, Texas.
Correct. But I've heard actually they got some cameras going up there now, so we'll see if that helps. Okay, so this is the story so far. Okay, in the last 10 months, 7 bodies have been pulled from Lady Bird Lake. It's led many to believe that there is a serial killer on the loose in Austin, Texas, terrorizing the popular nightlife venues on Rainey Street. Set the scene.
I mean, there are so many fucking people out there all the time.
It's true, and honestly, Rainey Street is fucking bananas, which is...
It's insane.
It's plausible. It's fucking
like, it
plausible.
would not be very hard, like...
Right. I mean, you've been down
if
there.
If someone just disappeared,
right?
like, you would never know. There's so many fucking people on that street at all times.
And not just people, like, drunk people.
Fucked up people
like,
riding
don't even
scooters,
know who their fucking... Who their identity is. Yeah.
There's... fucking people's faces everywhere. No, there's not.
I was like, is there? My goodness, you've had a time at Rainey Street, but that's fine. That's fine. Everyone has their own different journey. No. Yes. So now it should be noted that the city's police chief, Joseph Chacon, that's probably not how you say it, but that's fine, went on record stating that there is no evidence to suggest the deaths are connected to a single killer, nor is there any foul play. So this is coming from the police chief himself.
Wait, he said there's no foul play in any of these deaths?
None of, so APD is claiming that there's no foul play, there's no evidence of that, and anything else. So that's what the story is on the legal side. They're claiming that there's nothing. There's no proven connection, and there's no proven that these are all just drownings. So essentially, they're all just drownings. So we're going to start, which is in
the last 10 months randomly?
Correct. Which we'll get in a little bit to that it's not just the last 10 months, but it's been a kind of a weird pattern. So,
okay.
The victims of the last, these last 7, I think I said, of the 7 bodies. So, along with 2023 victims that are, there are others that online sleuths think are connected. So, I'm giving you the victims kind of more in totality of the online sleuths that they think that are connected with these other 7. So, there's Reed Hammond. Some people have also raised the 2008 so he's from 2008. So of Reed, described by the Austin Chronicle as an Austin school teacher and peace activist. So he's a good guy. He wasn't a fucking partier, it sounds like. Authorities said initial investigation showed that Reed appears to have committed suicide, allegedly. According to the Chronicle, his car was found in a parking lot near Lady Bird Lake, and he was found floating in the water deceased, with his legs and hands bound and his eyes covered in duct tape. You know how you do when you commit suicide? So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All the time.
Totally.
Every time. All the time.
Yeah, so these are going to
It's really easy to duct tape your own hands.
And you're just I'm going to just do this way, and it's just how I want to go out to embrace my maker. No, that's okay. But,
okay.
Sure. Whatever. It's
but you said they found him in 2008.
Every time this is one of the ones that was that online sleuths. Again, we'll get into that a little bit, because online sleuths are everywhere, including a little bit myself. Not to the depth that some of these guys are, but they fancy themselves detectives and they think that police are hiding something or whatever and everything else.
The don't kill cats people.
Kind of exactly like that. So,
don't fuck with cats.
Don't fuck with cats. Kind of the same thing, but whichever. But yeah, essentially that kind of degree. So they think that this 2008 death is connected to the rest of these 2003 or 2023 and these. There's some in 2018. There was a slew in 2018 that that these online sleuths think they're connected to this 2023 deaths. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, so in 2018, there were quite a number of people that had died. There's Jesse Perry, who was found in Waller Creek on May 29th. A few days later, he was identified. He was a 61-year-old man. His death has been ruled accidental. There was a guy named Ray Figueroa was found on June 12th. On July 26th, he was identified after a non-working cell phone was found and data was extracted. He was also 61 years old. The cause of death has not been released publicly. Austin police said they are investigating Ray's death as non-suspicious. Let's see. Walter Jack my gosh, this is a lot of vowels. Wyonarski was found deceased along Waller Creek on July 25th.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make fun of your last name.
Yeah, don't haunt us, please. He was identified in August. He was 44 years old. There was no cause of death that has been released. Police do not believe foul play was involved. So these are all pretty close, May, June, July. And then Luis Alberto Ramirez, he was found floating in Lady Bird Lake on August 15th. He was 37 years old. Police do not believe foul play was involved, and the cause of death that cause of death has not been released. Another man named Martin Gutierrez was found deceased on November 26th. after someone reported an individual in the water near 1300 Riverside Drive. He was reported missing on November 19th. He was a graduate of Texas Tech. His cause of death was accidental, and his manner of death was accidental. However, the autopsy did note a blunt force trauma to the back of the head. There was bruising on the scalp and swelling of the brain and chest cavities.
But
But it was an accident. He tripped and fell.
Why are they saying all these aren't foul play?
So this is like when I was talking to my sister about this case, and we're like quoting Tropic Gorgeous, like, according after some intense investigating, shit no. Foul play? Shit no.
We found out he liked to duct tape his hands together every time.
I know that Tammy only liked to duct tape her hands after a good ride on the Thresher. God, Jesus Christ.
Not before a swim.
Not before.
Only after a swim.
Stupids.
So God, horrible. If you guys haven't seen Drop Dead Gorgeous yet,
go do yourself a favor and go watch it now.
And just don't be offended by anything in it.
So Chelsea actually watched it, and a friend of mine, Chelsea, and she was like, holy shit. The amount of times they say the R word is wild. It is. And like you really like think about it, you're like, God, that would have not gotten made past 2010. There's no way.
Oh, hell no.
Let's see. Okay, Randy Luxvoid, he was found deceased on December 7th around 8:30 in Shoal Creek. He was 48 years old and visiting from out of state. Unlucky bastard. According to his credit card history, he made a purchase at Rooftop Bar around 10:30 p.m. on December 6th. He worked for a software development company, Agalcraft. Per his autopsy, the cause of death was drowning, but the manner of death is undetermined, which I just don't understand that. There was blunt force trauma, but officials believe
there was blunt force trauma on him too.
But they're like, I don't know.
That's what happens when you drown.
Right. They believe that this was a result from falling from a bridge into the water. You know, how you do.
You get blunt force trauma from falling into water?
I guess so. I guess you could, in theory.
But only if you land in a certain way. Mm-hmm. You have to be face first. Like, you have to be head down.
Right. So maybe he did. I don't know. But they're, like, saying allegedly. They don't have any proof to back up. So if there is a serial killer, like, like, you kind of have to, like, toe a line, right? Like, because, like, are they just trying to keep the public calm? Mm-hmm. Or what's the deal there? So we're going to jump to 2022.
Also, why... Yeah.
Right. Like,
because the dude probably just, he blunt forces them and throws them in the lake.
He totally blunt forces them real hard.
He fucking blunt forces the shit out of them.
And then he pushes them off.
He does.
So we're going to jump to 2022. So 4 bodies were pulled from the lake that year, including 3 just in December, 1 on my birthday. The bodies in December are John Doe's, as far as I can tell, like, from what I've researched. No. So, the other was Christopher Michael Gutierrez. Wait, did I already talk about him? Nope, they're just a different...
Gutierrez.
Yep, there's just another one. He was actually 49. Okay, now we're into 2023. So we have, these are kind of the main ones that have been highlighted in the last couple of months about, like, there being an alleged serial killer. So...
Because it's been more often, like...
It's been pretty consecutive. Kind of like the 2000... That's why they think... That's why a lot of these online sleuths think that the 2018 are connected, because those were like kind of back to back to back to back, and then it just stopped. And then we kind of jumped to 2022, and like kind of the tail end, it kind of happened.
He took a break for COVID.
He totally did. He wore a mask, and it was like a whole thing. And he's like,
I just don't want to give people COVID.
Like, I'm just trying to be. I'm not a monster. But I mean, and that's a big theory, because if all of the things happened at Rainey Street, right, when you're happening at bars, well, what happened in 2020? Everything was shut down. So the bars were shut down. So there is some significance to that. But then also, like, if the bars were shut down,
no one was going out.
No one was going out, so nobody was just, like, jumping to their deaths either. You can swing it both ways. Or, like, falling down accidentally.
If you are committing suicide.
Right. Or, like, falling, like, as an
accident.
Wouldn't
you go to a lake... Because no one's at the lake.
Right. Or
why would you be committing suicide at a lake?
Or are you getting, like, super, like, inebriated and, like, fall... You know what I mean? Like, so...
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, for example, like, who was I talking to somebody... No, again, my friend Chelsea and, like, her friend we were watching... Oh, my God. First of all, you and Chris need to watch Mer People immediately.
Oh, my God. He started it.
It's fucking wild. We all like I had girls' night last night and we binged it. Like it's not as good as Tiger King, but it's fucking wild. Okay. So anyway, so we went over there and they were talking about how like there was this 18-year-old kid that he jumped and he graduated. His fucking dumbass friends dared him to jump off a cruise ship. Now, and it's not one of those big fucking Royal Caribbean cruise ships, but it was like a day cruise ship. So, but it was pretty big. But he essentially jumped off of it. He somehow survived the fucking fall, but then his body still hasn't been found because like essentially like he jumped into shark infested waters, so he probably just drowned and got aided. I don't know. Oh my god. But anyway, but yeah, so like when you're drunk, I'm just trying to keep an open mind, right? Yeah. I'm trying not to be too biased.
I got you.
Like, could it been, like, could all of these been, like, just horrible coincidences, and people are looking too much into it? I mean, a lot of people
go out on the lake, so, and a lot of people get drunk out there. Right, and, like, what if you get drunk, and then, like, you just, yeah. Can you tell that in an autopsy, though?
That's what they're saying, is, like, they can't prove, like, is it blunt force trauma from somebody hitting you? Now, the duct tape is a little bit hard to explain away, but, like, I guess that's what it... And I'm not somebody that has studied this, so, like, I don't know.
I'm just saying if they were able to, like, pick up if they were, like, intoxicated.
Right. So I don't know if... So there have been claims that people, like, are not, like, doing the right test. Like, the medical examiners aren't doing the right test to, like, test for blood alcohol. And there's a lot of alleged, like, people claiming missteps. Missteps, and medical examiners aren't doing their jobs and blah, blah, blah. Anyway. Okay. So... we're going to jump to 2023. So we got John Christopher Hayes Clark, and he was 30 years old. So he was described as a great father who left behind a 12-year-old boy. Oh. And so a water rescue was performed, and the person was pronounced deceased. The homicide unit responded according to I think this is according to a police officer. He said that at that point, police had discovered... Oh, I think actually this was a family member. Back it all up. So, this family member said, at that point, police had not discovered anything suspicious. He had no additional details at that point, including identity of the deceased or cause of death. But he was recovered on April 15th. But they eventually identified him as John Christopher Hayes Clark. According to the New York Post, John Honey, he was 33. He was found on April 1st, a day after he was last seen at a food truck not on a food truck, that would be weird, at a food truck on Rainey Street. He disappeared on March 31st of 2023, and he was found on April 1st. I reiterated that like 3 times, but that's fine. Then we got Clifton Axtell, and he was 40. He is survived by his wife, Megan. He left behind 2 children. He was found deceased on March 5th near 400 West Riverside Drive. No cause or manner of death have been released yet. The police do not suspect foul play. That seems to be the police's tagline with all of this.
Like, is that common for them to be like, oh, there's no cause of death?
I'm not sure. I mean, I feel like whatever. They can't be liable if they can't miss, like, unless they have, I would imagine, if they don't have, like, concrete evidence, they can't make accusations either. So, like, I understand, like, the public is fucking frustrated, but, like, the police are like, what are we supposed to do? Like, we're not going to just be like, yeah, there's a serial killer and we have no fucking evidence to back it up. Yeah. They don't have a weapon. They don't have any of that stuff. Yeah. But I think what's happening is like the police or the public believes that they're hiding something, but who's to say? I don't know. I know like there's some police organizations that run a little bit differently than others. I don't know how Austin police departments are. So
me neither.
So
I feel like they'd be a little better than some of the other ones around Texas, but it is Texas.
Right, I would say they live in a little blue island, that's what I'm saying.
And I like conspiracies sometimes.
Right? I feel like the Austin citizens do too, because they're all about this. So then we have Jason John, which is an interesting name. Jason John. He was 30, so
bunch of 30-ish
right
people,
which is super sad. He was also known as
young.
JJ, and passed away on February 5th of 2023 at the age of 30 in Austin, Texas. Oh my god, she's so pathetic. His body was found 8 days after he first went missing, according to CBS Austin. So February 13th, he was last seen leaving Rainey Street, walking toward the Ann and Roy Butler hike and bike trail around Lady Bird Lake in the area that's notoriously dark. the television station reported, adding that his partner, Tara Hoda, later asked city officials to install lights and cameras on. Unfortunately, there's a limited information about these cases. Some news outlets have reported on the victim's manner and cause of death, but that information has not been made publicly available for all the victims. Oh my God, let me get my child.
Is that your dog?
That's my dog.
She sounds like a bird.
Yeah, she's fucking pathetic.
She literally sounds like a tweeting bird.
She does. She's like, it's my bedtime. All right, come on.
You are a bird. Are you a bird?
You are a bird. Here, just come here.
If you're a bird, I'm a bird.
Right? Come lay down on the blanket. Come here. Is that what you want? There you go.
She is so
so pathetic. There you go,
She's just a little baby.
She is a little baby. Yeah, that's all she wanted. She wanted a nest down. She fucking crazy. There you go.
Oh, you are.
I know, she's pathetic.
Love your mom.
Let's see, because I bet you Crystal went to bed, so that's why she's just like pouting.
What is that sweatshirt from?
Oh, this is actually from Rome. My dad got this for me when my mom, when they were married at the time. So this is like this is like what, 25 years old.
Oh, the best.
Yeah, they got this from, they were like, yeah, in Rome. They went to like a anniversary whatever, and yeah. It's the best it's the best sweatshirt. 90s sweatshirt right here.
It's the best. Look
at
that
fucking 90s sweatshirt.
Collar.
It is. I love it. It's one of my favorite ones.
Anyway,
I know. Thank you for noticing it. So, the individuals found deceased are 3 white men with olive complexions and 1 African American whose ages vary from 20s to 40s. These are just the profiles what the police have. They're mostly well educated, and a majority of them hold computer related occupations. That seems to be. I mean, so if you look at it, they have a type. Yeah, they have it there. So there is like kind of like, is it a coincidence that they're all kind of computer nerds or whatever? Like, it doesn't. I mean, the fact that they're kind of like, it's kind of a hodgepodge. Like they're white, but they're kind of, but like there's one that's not. Like, I don't know. They're just trying to like kind of connect some dots. And that didn't make sense because it's 3 and 1, and we have more than that. But they're mostly white men. But anyway, and there's only 1 African American. But anyway, so now Rainey Street is about a 35-minute walk from Lady Bird Lake. In a Facebook post, this is like kind of just giving you an idea of where everything is. So like, is it plausible? So this is just, again, the story. You can kind of conclude what you want to conclude from it. Like, again, is it murder or is it, just some bad decisions from people that are really intoxicated? Who knows? But so here's the facts. Like, Rainey Street is about a 35-minute walk from Lady Bird Lake. So, or a 35-minute stumbling distance, if you will. Yeah. So in a Facebook post on April 20th, a user named Hunter Adams wrote, "There is a serial killer in Austin, Texas. Tuesday night, I met this guy at Bumford's on 6th Street. He asked me for a ride home and used my phone twice. He had random scars and cuts on him like he had been fighting people often. He mapped where I was going to take him, and it was right by Lady Bird Lake," in caps. Shortly after he asked us about the killer and if we knew anything, my dumbass, this is again a cold ass quote, my dumbass told him, I'm not calling myself a dumbass. My dumbass told him yes to a ride home, but realized that dude had been stalking me. Oh, he misspelled that. He's meant to, like, stalking a shelf. Stalking me for hours and had followed me from 3 bars. He saw me talk to the bartender and immediately looked terrified. Then he tried to stay at my hip, knowing I was aware of something. Luckily, I was able to avoid him and leave. The next day, I got a call from the number he had used my phone to call. When I answered, they asked for his whereabouts because he had been missing all night. I'm 95% that it was him, the killer. It was terrible, evil. It was a terrible, evil vibe around him. There was no way I ever intended to take him anywhere. Today, they recovered a body from the lake, which is not in. So that was like the last thing that he wrote was like, today they recovered a body from the lake, ... So that's not entirely true. The last body that was pulled from the lake was April 15th. And this was on April 20th that so that's the problem with fucking Internet social media. Shit. Like, they want to just be part of the narrative or whatever. So you have to just take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
So all that being said, there's so much information / assumptions being made. Like, you could spend hours combing through sightings and hunches, and there are hundreds of theories, and actually quite a few believe it's a woman or a gaggle of women, if you will. That's a big theory, is that it's just a bunch of fucking vigilantes that are just like, or like fucking Valkyries that are just like, we're gonna fucking just kill a bunch of men. It's very weird. So go to Lady Bird Lake Serial Killer / Rainey Street Killer group of Facebook. People are doing like fucking dives like into Lady Bird, like looking for clues or whatever.
Oh my God.
Taking video underwater and like above the water drones. Like, it's fucking wild the amount of like resources people are putting into this.
I wonder what's actually going on in Austin.
Right? Like, honestly, like,
you know what I mean?
I asked to be a part of this Rainey Street group, and it is pretty wild to kind of watch. And it took them like a couple days to like accept my request or whatever, because I was just like, I'm just fucking curious. I'm a concerned citizen. But like, it's just all these people that are just like making these wild accusations, but they want to be part of it. They want to be part of solving the murder. Like, and I think that's what the internet has given, the public, right? Like, it's a giant message opinion board and everything else, which is great. Like, it solved some things. It's solved for like, it's helped solve like the Golden State Killer. Like, fucking thank God for Michelle McNamara or whatever her name was. I believe, like, Patton Oswalt's ex-wife, or deceased wife.
Yes.
But
oh
yeah, I remember she had passed away. It was very sad. But there is some great tools, but then you have some of these groups that you're just like, there's no fucking evidence, and you are just making wild accusations. But who's to say? Maybe they're right. I don't know. I'm just trying to stay just unbiased. Let's see. So one of the more popular theories is that the drownings are connected to someone who is called the Smiley Face Killer. Although there is no actual proof that there is actually like such a killer at all. So the Smiley Face Killer theory, also known as the Smiley Face Murder, Smiley Face Killing, and the Smiley Face Gang, it alleges that a number of young men found dead in bodies of water across several Midwestern American states from the late 1990s to the 2010s did not actually drown, as concluded by law enforcement agencies, but they were victims of serial killers, celery killers, or killers, and by the bodies apparently was a graffiti smiley face. However, there was an interview done with one of the detectives that developed the Smiley Face Killer theory that weighed in on if it's linked to the Lady Bird Lake drownings. So retired detective Kevin Gannon said, just from the sheer number of victims and the fact that there's so many in this short period of time, I don't believe that it's accidental. He believes that Austin victims are being taken to the waterfront and aren't going on their own volition and accidentally drowning. He notes that it takes effort to get down to the waterfront from the popular night bars, which, I mean, 35-minute walk. It does. Like, from Rainey Street, you can't just... I'm trying to think if there's, like, a back way, and I can't really remember. I'm, like, trying to, like, see it in my mind's eye, but I can't really remember that you can't just, like... It's not, like... The biggest point of access, I think, is, like, right off of 6th Street. Like, you can, like... It's, like, right there. But, I mean, you have to, like... It takes some effort to, like... unless you want to just jump off the bridge, but whatever. From, like, Congress and stuff, but, you know.
Yeah.
Who's to say? Stoking from fears in the Smiley Face Killer theories, locals have also noticed an uptick of smiley graffiti in and around Lady Bird Lake area. Is it related to a serial killer or other kids playing a prank? Investigators seem to believe nothing is out of the ordinary. Quote, although these cases are still under investigation and evidence is being analyzed at the time, there is no evidence in any of these cases to support allegations of foul play, Austin police said in a statement. While each incident has occurred at the lake, the circumstances, exact locations, and demographics surrounding these cases vary. But like APD, who believe that the drownings are nothing more than accidental, criminal profile Pat Brown calls the serial killer theory, the serial killer theory, ludicrous, arguing that the evidence does not fit what is known about serial killers. Brown also believes that the smiley face images found in some of the cases are likely nothing more than coincidences based upon guesses as to where the bodies entered the water, with smiley face graffiti only found after a wide search area. It's not an unusual symbol, she said. If you look at in any area 5 square miles, I bet you could find a smiley face. True. Again, true. There are also claims that the medical examiners are corrupt, so they're not giving correct autopsy data like we were kind of talked about, and aren't releasing all the facts. So there's like just again a slew of speculation surrounding facts. So let's see. Dr. Anderson, an associate professor of criminal justice at St. Edward's University, told KXAN, which is like a news affiliate down in Austin, these are the latest string of conspiracies he's seen crop up in cities across the country within recent months. A preliminary search he conducted found 9 cities with significant social media chatter connecting cases with an alleged serial killer, despite no indication from law enforcement despite no indication of that from law enforcement. Those include alleged rumors targeting San Antonio, Kansas City, Huntington, West Virginia, and Seattle since September. Quote, human nature has always looked at things and sort of looked for patterns that may or may not exist.
Yeah, just blame it on human nature.
Why? He said, but also social media and the ability to just sort of put these rumors online and sort of have them go out like wildfire, which is not completely wrong. Police said they are working closely with the Travis County Medical Examiner's Office and noted, quote, the results of those autopsies have not revealed any trauma to the bodies nor indication of foul play, end quote. Allegedly. They added, quote, one common theme to the drownings in Austin this year is the combination of alcohol and easy access to Lady Bird Lake, which has numerous access points, which is true. But again, I can't think of them just super easy. I don't recall. Many of the access points can be challenging to see at night. The parks in which most of these drownings have occurred are park areas that close at 10 and occur after the park closes. We advise the public to follow the rules on park closures, end quote. But I'm like, when they're drunk, I don't really understand. Sure. Austin City Council took action to pursue enhanced safety measures.
If you were following the rules, you wouldn't have committed suicide.
Yeah, and whose fault is that? So they pursue enhanced safety measures near the Rainey Street trailhead along Lady Bird Lake. Some options the city is pursuing included bolstered park ranger and EMS presence near the trailhead, as well as possibly more high activity location observation. I guess they're called halo cameras throughout the entertainment district, which apparently, because I saw it on the fucking whatever, they have a little victory for their Rainy Bird whatever Facebook page. Is like, they're like, look, they got a camera here, and so they're like, they took a picture of like the camera that they did put up. So I mean, police are trying to make an effort, and maybe they are like just trying to figure out what is fucking going on too. I don't know, or they just care about the public. I'm not quite sure. So hopefully it's the latter. Beyond just in Austin, Dr. Anderson said the fascination and preservation of conspiracy theories speak to strained trust some people have in institutions. While the necessity for the trust in public outreach is vital for law enforcement to engage in, he said the perseverance of misinformation makes even the most legitimate information vulnerable to public scrutiny, which I completely agree with. Mm-hmm. To quote, today evidence is just disregarded as another form of propaganda. And I think that makes it extremely hard for anybody to sort of get a message out if everybody is considered propaganda, end quote. The end. So that's all I have. So that's essentially where everything is at right now. it's just a bunch of pointing fingers. And of course, when you have a family member that, like, they pass away suddenly and violently like that, and, like, they don't have any, you know, they didn't have any history of mental health, and you want a bigger answer than, like, oh, they just fucking fell off a bridge, or they committed, like, I would understand that they would just want answers. Yeah. And again, because, like, the fucking internet is a powerful fucking tool, I mean, it might be coincidence, but you know what? Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I can't say that I would just be, like, satisfied with that answer either. Yeah. So it just, the whole situation just kind of sucks. Yeah. But that's what I know so far about it. It seems like there's like a lot of information. It's just so extreme.
It's like everything is just like one extreme or the other extreme.
It like, seems like there's a lot of information about like, nothing. Is essentially what's going on. Yeah. But I appreciated what they interviewed that professor and was just essentially like, it sucks that even if you could, like, what if the police are really giving all of the facts that they have, and then everyone's like, nope, you're a bunch of fucking liars, because everybody, especially now, has such this distrust in the government, right? So
and police,
and it really
well, maybe you guys should stop making us distrust you. maybe,
but
or maybe they're just
at the same time, like, who's to say if that's who we need to be distrusting? You know what I mean?
Exactly,
like, everybody has a fucking opinion. So
it's very true.
You just have to find the balance. That's what you have to find. You have to do your own research, and you have to make the decision instead of, like, my thing is, like, just do your own research and then make an opinion. Don't fucking follow with, like, one Facebook group says, do your fucking research. Look at 17 sources. Like, it takes a lot of work, but in order to make, like, I feel like an educated conclusion, you gotta look at all the sources. Otherwise, you're not doing anybody or, like, yourself or anybody any favors. Yeah. So.
No.
That's my spiel. I'll get off my soapbox now.
You gotta be true to yourself, but.
Be yourself.
Empower yourself.
Be yourself.
Be.
Yeah.
Yourself and be aggressive. Be aggressive.
You should be aggressive. Perfect.
All right. Well,
we nailed that.
It's that time of night when we roll up the dice and we pick our topic for next week. It's a great time to roll the dice with me. What is that? It's that time of year when the world falls in love. Every song you hear seems
you gonna
to
give your spiel about
goodbye?
Wow, that is
I'm singing myself a lullaby to go to sleep.
That was nice. Don't do it yet. Wait 30 minutes and then you can do that.
Hello guys, we're here and we are not gonna be here long because we're gonna
She's fading fast.
The episode soon because we're done and we're gonna roll the dice now.
The end. All right, should we just do it?
Roll it. Shay's gonna roll the dice. It's gonna pertain to a topic. Number 3.
It's 2. That means it's crime again.
Oh my god.
If you want me to re-roll it, I can.
No.
Okay, yes.
It's fair.
It is fair.
And square.
Huh?
But really, it's a cube.
Jesus Christ. I love you.
I don't know where
to go. Just go. 3.
Crime? No.
No, that's
2. 3's
Why
history?
can I never remember, like, I can never remember, like, 3 and 4. It's weird. It's weird.
It is weird.
It's very weird.
What's 6?
Oh, it's food again. I feel like...
Food?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what?
I mean, that's not coincidental.
I have more food ones, but I just need to give myself more time.
But you haven't had food, like,
I haven't
in a while, so, like, that's okay.
So it's making up for it.
And neither with me with crime, so I'm very excited.
I think it's trying to, like, after doing this, I was like, I'm going to move to Bologna and learn how to make pasta.
You should, because all of that,
next thing I need to do.
I'm not even hungry, and I'm hungry. That's what happened after that, your fucking spiel.
Yeah, so, anyways, all right, food it is, food it does, and see you later.